Hello, people. How's everybody doing? 7th second here. It's time for another set of Danganronpa. We last left off in the middle of the damn trial at a really important point where I had a suspicion of suspecting someone. We're going to find out today if that suspicion is right. Because my first suspicions of people have been wrong before, and this game is doing much better job of hiding who done it in most cases until like the very last second. But this is the first time I've noticed anything weird that anybody's doing. And oh god, what did Akane call him? What did she call him? Was it like it was like little gangsta? Little gangster? Little gangsta? Something like that? I think it was little gangsta. We're gonna see if I'm right now. So, let's see. Because we're in the middle of the case. I had to cut the last set off because I was past where I cut my recordings off for that. But still. Now's not the time to be pleased. More importantly, how much time was off from what the time... She's right, that's the main problem. I need to clarify by how much the time was off after the killer messed with the clocks. That's definitely the mystery I'm going to reach in the truth in one go. If I had to guess, I'm gonna say it's Akane's account because she's the one who heard the slam at 5:30.
If the time in the building was all messed up, then we can only rely on Nekomaru's radio clock. The time of death. It's clearly 7:30 a.m.
The problem is, what time would
I want to hear all of it.
In our time.
Are there any clues that can be used to narrow that down? If only I heard the sound when he fell.
We're going to be able to agree with that, actually.
Or his scream.
He's not the type to let out a scream.
If only Nekomaru's alarm was loud enough, we would have heard it too.
There's no point in saying that. If does not exist in this world.
Yes, what is with that pose? Alright.
If the time...
Let's confirm this, because I'm pretty sure Akane's account was the one we're going to use.
And the building was all messed up, then we can only rely on Nekomaru. The time of death. It's clearly 7:30.
The problem is, what time in our time?
Are there any clues that can be used to narrow that down? If only I
Heard the sound when he...
We did!
I agree with that.
Akane heard it!
That's right. We should have heard the sound he made when he fell. Wasn't it that rumbling noise?
rumbling. I thought it was just an earthquake, so I went back to sleep. Was that the sound from when Nekomaru fell?
Well, a huge body fell from the 4th floor to the 1st, and the pillar fell with it. It's obvious we'd hear the impact sound.
We heard that noise too.
It was when we were gathered at the Strawberry House Lounge.
The alarm was going off.
What is it, Sonia?
Oh, well. That sound everyone heard? I did not hear it at all.
Huh?
You probably didn't hear it because you were sleeping.
I could not sleep at all. I was awake the whole night with hunger pangs.
Well, now I have two suspicious
There's
people.
nothing to worry about. What's important
Unless
is that rumbling
we're
noise
trying to go
anyway.
with the idea that Akane's hearing is actually much better than... well, I mean, Akane's hearing is much better than almost everybody else's. So, I'm going with that.
If we use that rumbling sound as a reference, we might be able to figure out how much our time was off.
I heard that sound probably around 5:30 in the morning. Huh? You can tell? I instantly woke up and left my room. And that's when I saw the clock in the lounge. Excellent work, Akane!
2 hours.
I see!
Just enough to fuck with everyone.
Nekomaru's alarm went off at 7:30, and if we heard the sound of his impact at 5:30, that means our time was off by 2 hours.
Yes, it was.
2 hours? That much?
Yup.
We were starving pretty badly. There's no way we would have noticed.
Plus, the funhouse has no windows. And there weren't any Monokuma announcements either.
It was all designed for us to
For what
alter.
reason did the killer alter our perception of time?
The reason is obvious. So they can lure out just Nekomaru.
Oh god, if he got there at 7 o'clock when everybody else was still asleep and the killer showed up, he could have knocked his ass out.
If you messed with the clocks and used a specific thing, you definitely get Nekomaru to the tower alone, right? From there, the killer's plan was a splendid success. That's all it means.
A specific thing. The Monokuma Tai Chi.
I see. That's it. The killer made use of the Monokuma Tai Chi activity in the morning.
How did they use it?
We were required to go to Grape Tower every morning at 7 a.m. for that activity, right?
Nekomaru was going to show up like early if at all for him.
But if they mess with all the clocks inside the building, what would that do to us?
We wouldn't be able to attend on time, but that wouldn't affect Nekomaru. His radio clock had the exact time.
That's right. In doing so, the killer was able to lure him to the tower by himself at the precise time.
Then, when I witnessed Nekomaru early in the morning...
If I recall, you witnessed Nekomaru around 5 a.m. And if that time was also 2 hours off, it should have been 7 a.m. Yeah, that's pretty much it. At that time, he was heading over to Monokuma Tai Chi, right on schedule.
I see. Now that I think about it, I realize what Monokuma meant when he said those words.
Too early. He didn't even ask you yet.
Which words? How outrageous. I honestly didn't expect everyone to ditch Monokuma Tai Chi. But it turned out like this after all, so I guess it can't be helped.
When you said
Oh.
everyone, you were including us, right? We thought we came to the tower on time, but in truth, it was way past the meeting time.
Aw, jeez. That's, well, how should I put it? What was it? You know, tripping over a foot or something like that.
Yeah.
Are you talking about tripping over someone else's fault?
Monomi? No. I don't think that's how that word works.
Wrong! Too bad.
Liar! I'm right!
That's not it. It's incorrect.
That's definitely the correct answer. You always get so stubborn like this.
Let's just ignore the peanut gallery. Now that we've found out how the killer lured Nekomaru,
It's all about who
the
did it.
number of suspects has drastically decreased.
Huh?
Hey, why would that decrease the number of suspects? Don't be a friggin' liar!
You'll know I'm not lying when you listen to what Fuyuhiko's going to say next.
What are you going to say, Fuyuhiko? Huh?
Huh? What the hell do you mean?
You witnessed Nekomaru going toward the tower. Did something else happen after that?
Are you talking about that alarm?
Alarm?
A little while after I witnessed Nekomaru, the clock in the Strawberry House lounge started going off. Plus, it was just before that rumbling sound occurred. That's it. So that's what it is. If Nekomaru died when the rumble happened, then whoever doesn't have an alibi at the time is the prime suspect.
Really? Was there anyone who didn't have an alibi at that time?
I remember now. The sound was so loud I couldn't help bolting from my room. But there was one guy who never left the lounge. We were both on the same floor. It's pretty weird that bastard never came out of his guest room.
Which means that person does not have an alibi for when Nekomaru fell?
Who is it? Who's the bastard?
Really? We're going to actually be accusing him of something? Nagito doesn't have an
You're the
alibi
only
for that
one.
time.
The one who wasn't there. It's you, right, Nagito?
That's right. Nagito wasn't there. It was just me, Gundam, and Fuyuhiko.
You didn't come out, even though the alarm was going off like crazy. You weren't in your room, were you?
If that's the case, where were you?
Please, say something.
If you don't hurry up and answer, I'm gonna suicide dive you!
Akane, please. No. You're no ninja. That doesn't work.
If I may be frank, even if I wanted to go to the lounge, I couldn't.
You couldn't? What do you mean?
Wait, what?
It's merely the foolish talk.
What does that even mean?
Not only did I not hear the alarm, I never even heard that rumbling sound.
He couldn't?
You're definitely fucking lying.
However, that is also true for me. It is obvious that I did not hear the alarm in Strawberry House. But I did not hear the rumbling sound either. Is that not strange? I mean, everyone else heard it.
To be honest, it's not just them. The same goes for me too.
Huh?
I was in a pretty deep sleep, so I thought that's why I couldn't hear it. It wasn't that. I probably couldn't hear it at all.
Couldn't hear it? What does that mean?
Wait, are they all in the swank ass rooms? Because are those rooms soundproof?
You still don't know. Think about what the three of us who didn't hear a sound have in common.
I'm right there with
and
you.
I'm sure you'll figure it out.
The only people who didn't hear the rumbling noises were Nagito, Sonia, and Chiaki. Logic dive? Hangman's Gambit. Oh god, what are you gonna make me spell? Yep. I already know what it is. I already know what we're spelling. Oh, whoops. Fuck. Jesus. It's all going to shit. Save it. Yes. Fuck all your crashes.
I got it!
Deluxe rooms. They are soundproofed.
Nagito, Sonia, and Chiaki. The three of you were staying in deluxe rooms, right? If I recall, the deluxe rooms are...
Soundproof. Soundproof motherfuckers. So it can't be Nagito.
The reason we could not hear the rumbling noise...
That's right. It was because the deluxe rooms have superior sound insulation. You actually noticed that. Nice catch, Hajime. Are you using your ultimate reserve corps student talent?
You know what? Sure, yeah.
Now then, you guys must understand by now, right?
I'm like 99% certain I know who it is.
Hold on a sec. Why does that lead to who the killer is?
Because he was trying to make someone not have an alibi.
That fact just now is a very important clue, and a decisive factor in identifying the killer.
Decisive factor?
Somehow I feel like I understand what Nagito means. The killer among us. The killer who murdered Nekomaru. A little Yakuza.
Crap!
Wait, really? It's not him? How? Can't be Akane because she heard it. Can't be any of them. Couldn't be her. Couldn't be her. Kazuichi?
Crap!
You're the only one!
Gundam? What? He was one of the people who walked out.
Gundam, there's something
It's
I wanna ask
it was one of those 3 people. So it was like, it's got to be one of them.
When the alarm rang at the Strawberry House Lounge, you rushed over there too, right?
What's wrong with that? If the bell of catastrophe rings throughout
Wait,
the night,
wasn't he
it
also
is
in
the
a
universe's
oh my god.
providence to stop it.
I forgot he was in one of the deluxe rooms.
Why were you able to hear it?
Hear what?
I mean, you were also staying in a deluxe room, right?
Oh my god.
Naito was staying in a deluxe room.
I got it backward. Oh, fuck. Wait.
And he couldn't even hear it. So why were you able to hear that alarm?
Now that you mention it,
Gundam?
There is only one possibility. You weren't in your room at the time. That's why, even though you were staying in a deluxe room, you still went to the lounge. Am I right?
Gundam, you have some sort of explanation, right?
Gundam probably couldn't return to his room because of Fuyuhiko. Me?
Because you're watching the lounge. If you were sitting in the lounge watching everyone, you would notice him going back to his room.
After you saw Nekomaru heading to the tower, you stayed at the lounge for a while. Am I correct? Until the moment that alarm started ringing, right? If you were in the lounge for that long, the killer who had left earlier obviously wouldn't be able to go back.
Even though Megamaru's murder was a death trap that utilized the alarm in his chest, the killer still needed to prepare the murder in advance.
like putting Nekomaru in sleep mode and tying him up with the wire.
In order to do that, the killer needed to be waiting for Nekomaru at the tower. Which means when Fuyuhiko witnessed Nekomaru, the killer was already at the tower.
And once they tried to go back,
Bruh.
they couldn't
Dude.
because Fuyuhiko was at the lounge.
Dude.
In their original plan, the killer should have returned to their room before the alarm in the lounge went off. And they were supposed to stay in their room. They weren't planning to come out and go to the lounge.
Which means they wouldn't have heard the alarm or the rumbling sound, thus proving they were in the room.
Just like us.
The best case scenario would have been if those two in the lounge had gone and checked the deluxe rooms. After all, if they personally saw the killer sleeping in their room, it gives the killer a stronger alibi. Unfortunately, they failed to secure that alibi. Because I was in the
Dude,
lounge.
he was literally the only reason that we actually found him. Holy fuck.
So the killer couldn't go back to their room, and ended up hearing the lounge's alarm.
Oh my god.
Why'd you come out? You should have hid till the excitement died down.
If Gundam tried to hide, and if those two went to his room to check on him, he would have been found out. That would have been the worst possible outcome. That's why he couldn't just stay hidden.
If those two had just checked the deluxe rooms as planned, that would have been ideal, but how ironic. The moment Fuyuhiko set foot in the lounge, your plan was doomed.
Gundam? Please, can you at least say something?
Answer me this, including myself in my 4 dark devas of destruction. How many ears do we possess?
Huh?
The answer is 10. That's right, I possess 10 ears. That means I have 5 times the hearing of a normal human. The soundproof system here may as well not exist.
That's not how that works, bruh.
Is that your argument?
You bastard! Do you understand the situation you're in right now?
Do not panic. The truth shall now commence. At the time, I left my room to go to the bathroom. By coincidence, I heard the alarm.
Don't the hotel rooms have bathrooms in them?
That's right. That's all it was. The world is always so simple.
Are you saying it was just a coincidence? Isn't that timing a little too perfect?
And yet, I'm being suspected by all of you. It seems it was actually horrible timing on my part.
I see. You're still holding out. Well, you don't have to admit it. We're going to decide who the killer is with the majority vote anyway. So, why don't we just go ahead and start voting? It's obvious that Gundam is the killer.
Why are you so why Nagito, what?
Hold on a sec.
You know, Hajime, this class trial, this killing, it's merely the opening act, you know?
Hey! What do you mean the class trial is just the opening act?
Perhaps I should say, it's just a farce. Just a boring farce. So boring, so stressful. I'm so painfully bored that I might develop stomach ulcers. Seriously. Let's just hurry up and finish this before I collapse from poor health.
Nagito, something definitely happened to you, didn't it?
Hmm?
At some point during the investigation, your behavior became even weirder. What actually happened? Did you discover something?
Well, let's just leave that fun for later. And finish this opening act already.
Ah, you said opening act again!
Oh.
Please hold on! We have yet to hear Gundam's rebuttal!
But he's completely shut up. Perhaps he can't argue anymore.
Gundam!
I was simply at a loss for words after being dumbfounded by your pathetic assumption. In fact, I shall deny the very basis. Your assumption has been wrong since the beginning.
Since the beginning?
Based on your assumption, I hung Nekomaru from the 4th floor of the tower and made the floor descend to the 1st floor. From there, after returning to Strawberry House, I was present when the alarm at the lounge went off, correct?
That's what we're
Although
saying.
going to and fro is busy enough as it is, how would I be able to travel between both houses anyway?
We have the answer to this.
I see. The contact elevator was broken.
As I recall, the killer tampered with the Grape House control panel, which shut down the elevator. Plus, the stopped elevator should have been facing the Grape House side. If so, the human who used the elevator would have left it at Grape House. For these reasons, it's an indisputable fact that the killer destroyed the elevator at Grape House.
And what's wrong with that?
If the elevator was broken at Grape House, you wouldn't be able to return to Strawberry House.
However, I was already at Strawberry House.
We
I was
have an
present when the
answer
alarm
to
in the
this
lounge started
one.
ringing, which means your assumption is clearly wrong.
Are you serious? I thought it's already been decided.
Have you learned your lesson, pitiful humans? You cannot overcome this contradiction.
Oh, I can, and I will. That's wrong. When something is obviously wrong, that's when a contradiction is born. There's no such thing as a contradiction that can't be overcome. Where is it? Wait. Contact elevator.
That elevator.
Really? Is this going to be a pick and throw? Are we going to have to pick something up and throw it at him?
Was the only means of travel between the two houses. As long as that elevator was broken, your assumption collapses.
Plus, the elevator was broken at Grape House.
If the killer cannot return to Strawberry House,
Since I was at Strawberry,
What is the piece of evidence that says that?
house at that time, there's no question that the following crime is impossible.
It would have been different if they had an accomplice.
Or if there was a secret passageway.
How much
That
longer
was-
do
oh
you
God,
plan
that was
to
it.
lecture me? Why don't we stop this already?
That went by fast. All right. It's a pick and throw.
That elevator was the only means of travel between. As long as that elevator, your assumption collapsed.
Plus, the elevator broken at Grape House. If the killer cannot return...
Since I was at Strawberry, there's no question that the following
It would have been different if they had an accomplice. Or if there was a
Secret passageway.
How much longer do you
plan to lecture. Why don't we stop this already?
All right, so the question is, what am I shooting?
That elevator was the only means of travel between the two houses.
Bam!
No, that's wrong.
We have an answer to this one, motherfucker. We have you.
No, there should have been another way to move between the two houses without the elevator.
Such a method does not exist.
Then why don't we ask the person who actually used that method?
Nagito. Mm. Hey, buddy.
You're the only one! Nagito, you should know.
What are you talking about?
Don't play dumb. You appeared so suddenly that one time because you used that method, right? There's a secret passage connecting the first floor of Strawberry House to the third floor of Grape House. Isn't that right?
Jeez. Once again, I let the reserve course show off. But you're right. There's a door on the floor of the Octagon, which is on the first floor of Strawberry House. After I opened the door and went down, surprise, surprise! I ended up in the Monokuma Archive, which is on the third floor of Grape House.
Meaning the third floor and the fourth floor are actually connected.
Yep.
Plus, once you've cleared the final dead room once, you can pass through it as many times as you want.
If they used that secret passage, they could have gone between the two houses as much as they wanted.
Infinity Unlimited Flame!
Damn.
However, what if the killer was unaware of the existence of the final dead room?
You couldn't have been. Everybody knew about that.
There's no way they didn't know.
That is merely an illusion you have fabricated from your own suspicion. If you value your life, you should stop with your scrutiny.
There's no way I can stop.
What did you say? Don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
You know what? You know what, motherfucker? Bring it. Do something. MTV? Oh no, Silver Bottle Showdown. What am I aiming for? Wire. What? Alright, good night, button?
Even if the turbid box doesn't exist, you could travel through multiple planes, provided you use a spacious wormhole. However, how frail I say! Your decayed illusion. Shall I feed you to the progeny of vile deities? Even if the turbid box doesn't exist, you could travel through multiple planes, provided you use a spacious wormhole. However, how frail I say! Your decayed illusion. Shall I feed you to the progeny of vile deities?
Wow. Okay, this is the first time I've had to do diagonal cuts.
Even if the turbid box doesn't exist, you could travel through multiple planes, provided you use a spacious wormhole. However, how frail I say! Your decayed illusion. Shall I feed you to the progeny of vile deities?
Oh, this one's hard.
Even if the turbid box doesn't exist, you could travel through multiple planes, provided you use a spacious wormhole. However, how frail I say! Your decayed illusion. Shall I feed you to the progeny of vile deities?
Wow, this is hard.
Even if the turbid box doesn't exist, You could travel through multiple planes, provided you use a spacious wormhole. However, how frail, I say! Your decayed illusion. Shall I feed you to the progeny of vile deities?
Got him. Got him.
I already proved the secret passage exists. The secret passage was at the Octagon.
Know the limits of your own reasoning. You say the killer went to the Octagon? Don't bark, you cur! If you don't want to drown in the maelstrom of blind, at least pray to the key which dwells in the light!
What? Oh no.
Damn it!
Even if the turbid box doesn't exist, you could travel through multiple planes, provided you use a spacious wormhole. However, how frail, I say! Your decayed illusion. Shall I feed you to the progeny of vile deities?
I already proved the secret passage exists. The secret passage was at the Octagon.
Know the limits of your own reasoning. You say the killer went to the Octagon? Don't bark, you cur! If you don't want to drown in the maelstrom of blind confusion, at least pray to the key which dwells in the light! Know the limits of your own reasoning. You say the killer went to the Octagon? Don't bark, you cur! If you don't want to drown in the maelstrom of blind confusion...
Allow me to cut through those words!
Nowhere was there a wire.
The wire used to string up Nekomaru's body, the hammer that looked like the weapon, and the chain on the door, and those are all the items that weren't in Funhouse. Where did the killer obtain them?
The only place I can think of is the Octagon.
Because they were in
There
there.
were various weapons and tools there. I'm pretty sure I saw stuff like wires, hammers, and chains too.
Since those items were used in the crime, there's no doubt that the killer went to the Octagon.
If that's the case, they obviously know about the secret passage too, right?
It seems this is the end. Normally, we'd end up listening to Hajime lecture us with a very long summary of the case. But there's no reason to waste any more time on this opening act. So I'm going to end this right now.
Hey, what are you...
First of all, by messing with all the clocks in the building, Gundam tried to lure only Nekomaru. The elevator was probably broken by that point. Thanks to that, Nekomaru wasn't able to go to Grape Tower, which was supposed to be the meetup point. So he tried going over to Strawberry Tower, just like we did when we found out the elevator was broken. Well, it's obvious.
Oh, this is just auto going.
At that time, we didn't know the two towers were the exact same place. Also, the button in Strawberry Hall wasn't broken, so he was easily able to enter Strawberry Tower. But surprise! Gundam was waiting for Nekomaru's arrival.
Well, hold on. If Nekomaru didn't go to Strawberry Tower, what would the killer have done then?
Their plan was a balancing act of uncertainties. But even if they failed, they probably wouldn't have minded. They can just greet everyone the next morning as if nothing happened, and come up with a different plan.
And without such a risky plan, they wouldn't have been able to lure him at all.
I'm going to continue summarizing the case, okay? Through this, Gundam successfully lured Nekomaru to Strawberry Tower.
I'm a little annoyed that I'm
There's
not
no
getting
way
my
he could
climax
fight head-on
reasoning
with the
section.
robotic Nekomaru. So by pressing the goodnight button, he rendered Nekomaru powerless without fighting him.
Hold on! You... What did you just say? That I didn't battle?
What's wrong with that?
Don't mess with me! Don't mess with me! I cannot ignore those words!
Why are you angry all of a sudden?
You fools do not understand! You don't understand at all! Ha! You make me laugh! After all this time, you still don't understand anything at all!
I don't understand anything. What does that mean?
Years. I cannot finish just yet. Maybe I'm just a human destined for hell. However, I cannot finish just yet. I cannot finish!
Bruh, like, I don't know. Maybe you need different material if you can't finish. Like, I don't know. Use a different hand? Like, fuck, I don't know, man. Various implements? Just try something different if it's not working for you.
What do you intend to do?
It's obvious! I'm going to destroy your illusory assumptions!
Are you saying you still have more? You still have room to argue?
Your words. You said I pressed Nekomaru's goodnight button. However, that button was on the back of Nekomaru's neck. To press it, I'd have to get behind him.
It's not easy to get the drop on Coach Nekomaru.
It's even more difficult if it's a one-on-one situation.
Ah, but it wasn't one-on-one, it was 1-on-5.
Just as I thought. Truly frail. Succumbing so easily to this simple argument. It was just a mere illusion. If you want to set me up as the killer, at least surpass your own human limitations.
That's wrong, Gundam. You're the one who's wrong.
Such a wonderful line. However, I cannot say that I'm satisfied. Listen well. I shall teach you 2 tips for making someone admit their defeat. First, you must crush them with your own overwhelming power. And as for the other, you must provide a reason that will persuade that human. You have not fulfilled either of those yet.
I guess you really don't want to admit it. Then just as you requested, I'll provide an argument that'll leave you no choice but to be persuaded. PTA, let's go. I hate these things, but let's go.
I won't let you! For the Tanaka Empire! Wither! Crushed as David prophesies! I won't let you! For the Tanaka Empire! Wither! Crushed as David prophesies! Show me the cadaver! I won't let you! For the Tanaka Empire! Wither! Crushed as David prophesies! I won't let you! For the Tanaka Empire! Wither! Crushed as David prophesied! For the Tanaka Empire! I won't let you! For the Tanaka Empire! Wither! Crushed as David prophesied! I won't let you! For the Tanaka Empire! Wither! Crushed as David prophesied! Show me the cadaver! It's Nekomaru's back. Do you really think I can get behind him so easily?
This is the end!
You've got them right in front of you, in fact. Got him. Okay.
Even if you didn't get behind Nekomaru, you should have been able to press the button on the back of his neck.
I think I figured out what's been going on. There is an ever so slight bit of delay between what I see on my screen and what I get over here. Ever so slight bit. So I actually need to release just early because of how far it's passing. So when the button releases, it actually hits on the right spot. So I figured it out. Did much better on that one than I've done in the past.
As long as you have the power of the hamsters you keep with you.
Oh?
Are you seriously saying he used his hamsters to press the button on the back of Nekomaru's neck?
Yup.
Of course that'd be impossible for a normal hamster, but it would have been possible for Gundams. In fact, we saw that with our very own eyes, right?
I ain't reading that.
Now that you mention it, after Ibuki was killed in the music venue, one of Gundam's hamsters retrieved the piece of wallpaper from the baton lighting, right?
Yep.
Hey, with your friends and their exceptionally smart brains, it must have been possible to secretly get one of them behind Nekomaru and press the button on the back of his neck.
How about it, Gundam?
Not just myself, but you actually brought up how splendid my subordinates are. I have no recourse but to admit it.
Admit it? Did you say You admit it?
It appears I've obtained a one-way ticket to hell. Fine! Then you must trample me underfoot and advance. Victory can only be built upon a foundation of corpses. You cannot find peace without sacrifice anywhere. Now, trample this life. Trample it as though it were mere trash on the side of the road. Pull the curtain strings of this worthless performance with your own two hands.
Oh, we still get to do it. I love this track so much. All right, who set the alarm clock lounge? Wait, what? Huh? Oh, maybe I can't do that one. What? Got him. Wait, what? Last stock, let's go.
Here's
Got
everything
him.
that happened in this case.
I love that track so much. Hey,
First, go over the many tricks the killer prepared before they committed the
Nagito,
crime.
you don't get to take this away from me. I'm not letting it happen.
First, they destroyed the contact elevator. This separated Nagito and the others in Strawberry House from our group in Grape House. Next, they lured Nekomaru out by himself by turning back all the clocks in the funhouse by 2 hours. Additionally, in order to secure an alibi, the killer went to the Strawberry House lounge and set the wall clock's alarm to 5:30 a.m. After finishing their preparations, the killer went to Strawberry Tower with the necessary tools in hand. They obtained these tools from the Octagon, which you can enter once you clear the final dead room. This means the killer discovered the secret of the funhouse faster than anybody else. That secret being, Strawberry House and Grape House are actually the same building. On the morning of the incident, Nekomaru woke up and headed over to Grape Tower for a specific reason. There, Fuyuhiko, who was at the lounge by coincidence, witnessed Nekomaru. According to Fuyuhiko's testimony, that was around 5 a.m. But by that point, the killer had already messed with our perception of time. In actuality, Fuyuhiko witnessed Nekomaru at 7 a.m. That's also the same time Monokuma Tai Chi begins. Nekomaru went to Grape Tower to participate in that. However, because the contact elevator was broken, Nekomaru was unable to go to Grape Tower. So he decided to try going to Strawberry Tower. But the killer was waiting for him there. With the power of hamsters, they were able to press the good night button on the back of Nekomaru's neck. This forced him to enter sleep mode, rendering him immobile. From there, the killer began preparing to use the ultimate weapon. First, he set the alarm in Nekomaru's chest to 7:30 a.m. so he'd wake up.
This is all really elaborate, by the way. Hot damn.
Then they tied him up with a metal wire, tied the tip of the wire into a loop, and hung it on the doorknob. After leaving Strawberry Tower, the killer then destroyed the door button to Strawberry Hall. They did this to keep us from entering Strawberry Tower, and to keep us from discovering the secret of the building's structure that they used to kill Nekomaru. Then, they used the secret octagon passageway to travel to Grape House. After arriving at Grape Hall, they pressed the button to open the door to the tower. When that happened, the elevator-like floor of the tower began descending. And Nekomaru's body was still inside, dangling upside down in midair from the wire. The killer entered Grape Tower to see if their setup was successful. And placed a hammer on the floor to look like the weapon, then wrapped a chain around the back door. This was done to make us falsely believe we couldn't enter the tower from Strawberry Hall. With this, the killer finished their setup and tried to go back to their room using the secret passage, so they could craft their alibi when Nekomaru died from the fall. But something unexpected happened. Fuyuhiko, who saw Nekomaru earlier, was still at the lounge. As a result, the killer couldn't return to their room, and with no options available, time ran out. The lounge's wall clock alarm started ringing at 5:30. Well, actually 7:30. To avoid a worst-case scenario, the killer was forced to appear in front of Fuyuhiko with the others. When the wall clock's alarm rang, that was also the same time Nekomaru was waking up. He woke up while he was still hanging upside down, so he couldn't help but sway his body powerfully. Originally, the loop of wire was only supposed to slip off the doorknob, but because there was a heavier load than expected, the doorknob ended up breaking.
Just damn.
Nekomaru fell from the 4th floor all the way to the 1st floor. He crashed into the pillar, which decapitated him on impact, and died. The sound of Nekomaru's impact echoed throughout the funhouse. However, by this point, the killer's plan was about to fail, thanks to the broken doorknob and Fuyuhiko. Meaning, the killer is someone who wouldn't have heard the alarm if they were in the deluxe room. They also wouldn't have been able to return to their guest room, because Fuyuhiko was at the lounge. That someone is Gundam Tanaka. I can't think of anyone else but you.
That fucking JoJo's pose, he's just like... just going for it.
That was splendid. For a mere human, you did quite well.
Stop. Stop it already. Stop using weird words to avoid the truth. Or I'll friggin' kill you myself!
I cannot believe it. I just cannot believe. You killed Nekomaru? I cannot believe something like that.
So the only thing I don't know about this, which I guess we're about to go over, is why? Why would he suddenly be like, this is my perfect chance to strike?
You don't wish to forgive me? Do you feel regret?
Was he given something different?
Then finish it! Cast your impure votes for Gundam Tanaka! My beloved, deadly foes, let the voting time begin!
Yeah, I struggled on a couple of these. There was a few of these through the center that I'm like, it took me a second to get it. B's not bad. I need to make sure before I go do anything else. Time left.
This result isn't all that exciting. Now then, please pull the lever in front of you and cast your vote. Who will be chosen as the blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one? Please pull the lever!
What?
Crap! I bit my tongue at the most important part!
All right, everybody at home, I hope you've been paying attention because there's only one vote. Bop, bop, bop. Huh. Bad I bit my tongue again, so I'll speak slowly. Judging from the results, you guys were correct once again. Getting 4 in a row without any mistakes is a splendid achievement. That's right, the one who killed the robotic Nekomaru in the amazing funhouse was Gundam Tanaka.
Nice!
Yay! I said it all without biting my tongue again.
Now then.
Now that we decided who the killer is, let's do the execution already and just get this over with. Hold on. It's true that the class trial's finished, but that doesn't mean the incident is over. We can't finish until we hear it from Gundam.
Jeez.
No matter what he says, it won't change a thing. Well, I have no right to stop you either, so do whatever you like.
Fall, my
Why do you want to talk to the one who has lost? The loser merely leaves. It would just be unnecessary for me to say something.
Listen well.
Is what I would like to say, but for honor's sake, I shall correct one thing. Correct?
How pitiful.
You guys said I made Nekomaru powerless without fighting him? That, however, is a great mistake. Huh?
Fine.
Nekomaru did fight, that is no mistake. And because he fought, he lost and died.
Damn it!
Wait, what?
This
Lost and
too
died.
must be the will of causality.
If he was just trying to cling to life, there are so many ways he could have done so. However, he did not allow that.
You.
What do you mean? Explain. Fine then, I shall reveal it all.
Let's make history.
Within the final dead room, I discovered the secret of the funhouse, and I devised a killing plan utilizing that secret. By tampering with all the clocks in the building, I succeeded in luring Nekomaru to the tower. And this is what happened. Nekomaru and I were alone in the tower, standing face to face with one another. I should say I expected as much from Nekomaru. He sensed my subtle killing intent and instantly understood the situation. And of course, we had ourselves a stare down. In that situation, if he wanted to run away, it would have been easy for him to do so. He could have run away, or even called for help, but he did not turn his back to me. Instead, he chose a fight that risked life and death.
That is...
A fight that risked life and death?
Let me tell you.
He was
this.
serious, too. He gave it his all to try to kill me.
Huh?
What? If I had died instead, the mystery surrounding the case would have been even more complicated. You would never know why I, the victim, went to the tower by
I
myself.
can see it.
Nobody would know that the victim, me, was actually the one who planned the whole thing.
Could it be?
Nekomaru really did that?
Sensing even my subtle killing intent, as expected of you, Nekomaru.
The scorching, stinging, tense atmosphere. I've been a team manager for so long, I'd nearly forgotten this.
Oh boy.
This is great! What a comforting atmosphere!
That's a great one.
And what is your reason? Do you intend to resolve this situation by killing me?
I am the Warlock, Gundam Tanaka. Heroes, lords of darkness, and even the gods themselves flee from me.
Oh boy.
I need not cling to any trivial reason. I'm simply going to kill you because your very existence is an annoyance.
You'll drench your soul with evil until the bitter end, huh? Splendid! In response to your spirit, I shall kill you with all of my might. I won't go easy on you. Don't even think about holding back. Don't waste your breath on cowardly tactics. Give me everything you got.
Nekomaru need I. Your blood will drench the foundation of my empire.
That is...
Why? Why did you fight? We are all friends. Why couldn't you stop this? Even if both sides agreed, it was still wrong. I will not argue. I have no intention of forcing my values upon you.
Let me tell you.
However, I must say this. What's the point of living if you're just waiting until you finally die?
You weakling!
There is nothing courageous about that. That is abandonment. A mere feeling of resignation. The scene earlier, yeah.
Oh, my tears.
Ever since we were locked inside that building, everyone has been dominated by the feeling of abandonment. However, nothing is born from resignation. That is simply a reason to give up.
If you flinch, you will die!
Giving up on life? That's just an insult to life itself.
Let me ask.
Have you fools heard of the term dog eat dog? Cannibalism?
Fine.
In zoology, cannibalism is a commonly observed phenomenon. Many creatures at some point in their lifespan engage in cannibalism.
Listen well.
This is what it means to live. If you say killing for the sake of living is evil, then what would you call giving up on life itself?
I shall engulf this world.
Oh, God. If a world would consider that justice, then I will I will fight that world with every last fiber of my being. Giving up on life and choosing death, nothing but blasphemy towards life.
I renounce you!
It's a violation of the natural order. It's the arrogance of humanity.
You.
Are you saying you did all that to try to justify what you did?
What?
It sounds like Nekomaru felt the same too. That's why they fought, right?
Damn it.
Fine.
That man had the courage to die when he needed to die. That's why he challenged me to our battle. Regardless, I've already said, I do not intend to force my values upon you, fools. I have betrayed you all. That is the absolute truth.
Fall.
But even so, don't you think it's a better alternative to slowly starving to death here?
Oh,
That belief is why you committed your crime?
you...
Hey, what about the final dead room? Did you do the Russian roulette too?
Let's make history.
Unlike Nagito, I only did it once, but compared to my battle with Nekomaru, that was mere child's play.
Well,
You know, after listening to you all talk for a while, I'm starting to think that, well, it's also because you unexpectedly admitted your crime without much resistance. Gundam, don't tell me. You didn't sacrifice yourself for our sake, did you? Cannot believe you would ask such a foolish question. He totally did that.
My name is Gundam Tanaka.
Just who do you think I am? I'm Gundam Tanaka, history's greatest monster. My cursed existence is feared by all mankind. There's no way I'd sacrifice myself for the sake of you fools.
Fade like dust in the wind.
Not in a million, not in a billion, not in 10 billion years. In the name of pandemonium, it is impossible. Is that it? Then I'll just leave it at that. Now then, let us be rid of this foolish talk. It's about time the fun started. Monokuma, let us begin.
Yes, indeed.
Got it! Prepared a special punishment for the ultimate breeder, Gundam Tanaka.
Please wait.
This is just too much.
I beg of you.
Monokuma, please. Please help Gundam.
Huh?
Miss Sonia?
I beg of you.
How pitiful.
Sonia, an act as unrefined as stopping a man from going to his death, does not befit a noble such as yourself. Gundam, is it fine to start for reals, right?
Fine.
Yes, I do not mind. However,
What is it, my four dark devas of destruction? Are you worried about me? Oh, my feared four dark devas of destruction. That is not like you at all. However, there is no need to fear. In this world, I am only a temporary visitor. I was simply visiting for a moment, and now that my duty is complete, I must return to the darkness. That is why, until the very end, pride, conceit, courage, insolence, fearful of nothing, daunted by nothing. Let us laugh uproariously! That is Gundam Tanaka! I shall stick with my evil until the very end!
I honestly thought that the laugh that was coming from him was going to be part of the next line of text, not that one, so I cut him off his laugh.
Open sesame pandemonium! I shall fill hell with true hell!
Let's give it everything we've got! It's punishment time!
All right, what have you got prepared for Gundam? Gundam Tanaka Stampede. Ultimate Breeder or something or other. What the fuck? Oh. 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 What the fuck? Gundam! No. No! Even after Gundam is gone, the spirit of his parting words still lingered deep within our chests. Don't give up on life. Did I misunderstand what he meant? Then what's the right thing to do? I don't know. No matter how much I think about it, I don't know if I'll ever be able to answer that.
Damn it.
Damn it! I'm so pissed off. I need to throw something now.
Damn it!
You all spent so much time worrying about each other, and thanks to that, things ended up like this. You're all full of shit. Every last one of you. Even the biggest piece of shit is me.
Worst.
Damn it, why am I so weak?
Oh.
It's a downer, clearly. But still, even though we feel this way, we've still got to do our very best.
You are right.
This time around, we must move forward. We must continue to live and believe in our friends. If not,
You are right.
Gundam will most likely crawl his way out of hell, and I presume he will be very cross with us. You're right. You're right. We shouldn't just stand here. I mean, it's not like this is over. We still have to do it. We still have to finish this. For the sake of our friends who have died, we need to finish this once and for all. So, don't just stand there. Stand up and walk. Move forward. Live. If you don't, everyone who fought and died will have died in vain. We can't allow that.
Hey!
So, how long are you guys going to stand around chattering? Fast trial's over, so it's okay for you to hurry back to Jabberwock Island. However, the killing school trip will proceed as usual, so make sure you know that.
Wait!
Hold on. How much longer are you going to keep doing this? Seriously, how much longer is he going to keep doing this? How much longer is this going to continue?
Now then.
Alright, after feeling down for so long, I finally feel refreshed. Let's hurry back and eat some food.
Hey!
Hold on a sec, that mood shift did too damn
Like
fast.
that.
Well, you know, it's like Gundam and Nekomaru said. It's what it means to live, right? She's certainly something else. Seriously, I'm starving.
Hey,
Let's go back for now and eat. And then, after we're full, let's sleep as much as we want.
right?
Then, let's do our best again. Yeah, you're right. With this, the class trial has come to an end, and once again we return to Jabberwock Island. The size of our group is definitely diminished. But despite that, even if it was just the rest of us, we did our best to stay upbeat and have fun together. Of course, our optimism was only superficial. But at that moment, we were able to forget about the dark despair looming before us. However, the only thing I worried about was him. He wasn't there. He suddenly disappeared from our sight. Nagito? Yep, I'm definitely lucky. I never expected to be able to obtain so many valuable things from a simple game of Russian roulette. Thanks to that, I was able to learn the identity of our true enemy. And before everyone else. But it's just too funny. I mean, no one could tell I was lying. There's no way that the file had just Hajime's information.
Well,
I guess they were too busy with other matters, or maybe they've reached their limit. Regardless, I was saved. Things would get complicated if they found out. Anyway, I can't forgive this.
damn it.
This should never be forgiven. There's no way I can let this run loose. I'll be the one who stops this once and for all, even if it costs me my life.
It's obvious.
For the sake of hope, I cannot ignore this.
Monokuma appears!
Alright, Monokuma has arrived. Who summoned me?
Now then.
Thanks for coming.
What's this?
Why, it's the lonely little Nagito. Are you all alone tonight too?
What's the matter?
What's up? Your face looks scary. I see. So you can tell. Perhaps you found out who the traitor is. You know me well.
Well,
It is what I'd like to say, but unfortunately, I haven't learned that yet. I see. So you don't know, huh? Looks like the final showdown's gonna take a little more time.
Hello.
So why'd you summon me anyways? Were you finally gonna confess your love?
hey,
I summoned you because there's something I really need to ask you. It's about the special prize from the final dead room. Oh yeah? What about it? There was information about 16 people in the file I received. But isn't that weird?
Say what?
What's weird?
you don't even know?
Well, there's a traitor from the Future Foundation hiding amongst us, right? Including that person, the total number of students would be 16, right?
Isn't that right?
But this file contains documents that were created at Hope Speak Academy, right?
Of course.
That's right. I reused the stuff that the former headmaster spent a lot of time making.
But
If this file even contains information about the traitor, was that person also a former student of Hope Speak Academy?
Who knows?
I wonder.
hey,
Could it be? Is this your doing? Did you slip false information into the file? Were you trying to keep us from learning the traitor's identity by obtaining this information? What's wrong with that? If it's my job to heat things up, it's okay if I do something small like that, right?
well,
That's not my point.
right?
My point is, you already know who the traitor is. What's wrong with that?
You're getting all riled up.
You're splendidly correct when you say, I knew who the traitor was all along. But even if I know who it is, why do you think I ignored it on purpose? It's just like Monomi said after losing her magic stick. The traitor's existence means absolutely nothing to me. Your existence means nothing, huh?
No.
That's just how I feel. I'm sure you guys feel somewhat different. After all, that person is the evil Future Foundation's lackey who's putting you guys through all this awful stuff. That's not entirely true. I didn't really come here to fight or anything like that. Instead, I came to offer my cooperation, you know.
Huh?
Cooperation?
Hey,
Your purpose is to fill everyone on this island with despair, right? That's why you're intentionally letting the traitor do as they please, right?
Yep.
Yep.
I...
If that's the case, I might be able to cooperate somewhat too.
right?
However, in exchange, I want to know who the traitor is. I see. Interesting. Very interesting.
No.
Obviously, that's a big no-no.
Unbelievable.
I mean, I want to make everyone in your group feel despair. That includes you too.
Well,
I knew you would say that. Besides, I wouldn't just be able to handle the sadness when you inevitably betray me later on. Just as I thought you saw right through me.
you're right.
No matter the situation I find myself in, my core way of thinking will never change. in order to create absolute hope that shines brightly. Stepladders such as myself and despair exist. You're right. You're a true believer of hope after all. I must say, that belief reminds me of that person for some reason.
Huh?
Reminds you? I don't know who you're talking about, but if someone as worthless as me reminds you of some other person, they must be extremely unlucky.
Like...
You're just as unlucky, right? I mean, the fact that you're even involved in something like this.
Wow.
Am I? Actually, I think I'm very lucky.
Say what?
You don't know?
Wouldn't you say that coming across this much despair is a rather rare opportunity? I can't rely on anyone on this island. That's why I have to be the one who does it. If I can eliminate despair from this island, I won't be a stepladder anymore. I'll become true hope. I'll become an existence that could even be called the ultimate hope. The two of you are alike. You definitely remind me of him.
Hey.
There's one more thing I want to ask you.
See?
Who are you waiting for on this island? Looks like I'm right again. You're definitely waiting for someone on this island. Is the person you're waiting for already on this island?
Hey.
Well, answer my question.
That's...
If that's the case, if that person is already on this island, wouldn't that be exciting? Oh boy, 5 days left till whatever the fuck this thing is goes off. So only got 7 of us. We should get a save point right here. Hellhound earring. All right. That is going to be it for this set. Oh, you know what I need to do? I just realized that I don't have this set up right. I forgot to do this. I realized I forgot to do a setting. I thought about the setting at like the last second, so... Alright, so that's it. So I was wrong about Fuyuhiko. I thought he like intentionally set the alarm for everybody to be out and about. So he could go off, kill Gundam early, and then have an excuse of an alibi when he gets killed. But Fuyuhiko ended up being literally the one reason, the one singular solitary reason that we even caught the guy in the first place. Because if Gundam got back to his room, there's no way we could prove any of it. So... good on that. We went a little bit long on this set, but that's fine. I don't mind. Thank you guys for watching this set for me. You guys are all awesome. Whether you're watching it on Twitch or YouTube, it's greatly appreciated. If you want to come check me out live, you can find the link to my Twitch page down in the description below. If you're on YouTube, if you're on Twitch and you want to catch up on old VODs, my YouTube channel is in the info section of my channel page, waiting for you, ready to go. We're gonna keep going. Well, maybe, I don't know. I have like one. I might stop for the night because this is not a bad spot, and then try to crank out the last chapter tomorrow. Because I don't have anything else going on tomorrow, so I'm gonna have like all afternoon to play, and I want to put more effort towards this. But I also want to give my voice a rest because I mean you've heard me coughing a bunch, and I'm sorry that I've been coughing so much, but like. Sinuses are going wild. That's all I could do. All I can describe. But we'll get to some of this in the next set. I'll probably record this stuff tomorrow. It's like 1 a.m. right now. I'll go record some more of this stuff tomorrow after lunch, and we'll keep going from there. Right? Right. So that means I'm gonna head out and go ahead and like wind down for the night. But before I do, I need one kindness from each and every one of you guys. Which have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, good day, whatever happens to be wherever you are at. I'm going to see you guys in the next set, and we'll find out what happens after Chapter 4. All right? Bye.